Hi, it's Yara, Vedic astrologer, with a clip about the upcoming full moon of Buddha Purnima on Thursday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. Central European Summer Time. This full moon falls in sidereal Scorpio, where the moon is debilitated and not feeling particularly well. We probably don't feel very happy or fulfilled in these days before and around the full moon. And one may ask, why does a debilitated full moon give rise to the festival of Buddha Purnima, that is to celebrate the life and enlightenment of Buddha? And the answer is that without mud there is no lotus. The lotus flower grows in muddy and swampy places, only to finally open in all its purity and beauty in the light of the day. Scorpio is a swampy sign because its waters, it's a water sign, are associated with the rain that accumulates in clouds that are discharged on the earth, and then the water evaporates again and creates clouds again. And this is why Scorpio, the 8th sign, as well as the 8th house, represent ups and downs, as well as repression of emotions in clouds, which suddenly can blow up. And within the sign of Scorpio, this full moon falls in the lunar mansion of Anuradha, which is the constellation in which Radha was born, the gopi whose beloved was Krishna, who was an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, that is, of the divine. And the symbol of Anuradha, by the way, is the lotus flower. Devotion, Radha's devotion to Krishna, the devotion of a human being to the divine, our devotion, is the theme of this full moon. What or whom are we devoted to? Is our devotion, our love, our longing healthy, or is it a toxic attachment? Does it elevate us, or does it make us sink deeper into the mud of poisonous or harmful feelings and habits? Anuradha is a very sensitive constellation that tends towards sacrifice and abuse. Many times we may sacrifice ourselves for others, for causes, goals and ideals, and we may abuse ourselves, and our energy level, our emotional body and the physical body do suffer. Anuradha's wounds and scars do not heal easily or fast, and that can lead to sadness and even depression. And it is because it is hard for us to let go of toxic habits, environments, people and relationships, because there is something we love and are attached to. And we keep living in the same poisonous mud. There might be fear of losing someone or something. Even harmful emotions such as envy or jealousy may show up. And this is actually so because we prefer to look outside instead of inside. We may be restless these days around the full moon, hyper-vigilant, and feel perhaps distrust, as if we couldn't expect anything good, because deep down we are convinced or we fear that there's nothing better waiting for us, nothing else available, and we have to settle for living in these conditions. We resist a necessary change because we are loyal to, devoted to a state with which the little I, the little self, identifies, perhaps for a very long time. But the sign of Scorpio always promotes the transformation of these unhealthy beliefs. It calls us to be reborn and blossom like the lotus flower. To this end, the sun, which in Vedic astrology represents our soul, our higher self, looks at the moon from the opposite sign of sidereal Taurus. And the sun is not alone, but in the company of Venus and Jupiter, all three in the lunar mansion of Kritika, which is the constellation of the Pleiades, the abode of Agni, the fire god, and the planet associated is the sun itself. The Shakti of Kritika is the power to burn, to destroy everything that is not true, honest, and wholesome. Kritika always tries to give us direction in life, to make us pick the right choices, to choose what benefits our light, our evolution. The Sun, Venus, and Jupiter in Taurus, opposing the full moon, promote new values, healthy habits, and choosing only what honors the value of our existence as beings of light and love. Venus and Jupiter are combusted due to their closeness to the Sun, and combustion is always painful for a planet, and for us regarding the areas of life they stand for. In this case, our self-esteem, our relationships, and our confidence in life and in ourselves might wobble and cause us sadness. But the Sun aims always to purify combusted planets, which means that when planets come close to the Sun, as Venus and Jupiter do around the full moon, that these are times for us to burn karma, to destroy our attachments to an unhealthy lifestyle, to poisonous emotions and toxic relationships, including the relationship with ourselves. The little I, the person who we believed to be, resists its own dissolution. We have a hard time letting this person go. To grow into the expanding consciousness, the light that we truly are. Scorpio normally has an interest in these esoteric questions, and it is a sign in which we can be reborn like a phoenix and experience that we no longer look or live from the perspective of the little I, but with the vision and the qualities of the self. But it is a process that requires devotion. We must surrender to the transformation that takes place. Be clear about our priorities and also know that the mud to which we are so accustomed has to be metabolized. This is taught to us by Matangi, one of the 10 Mahavidyas, or wisdom avatars of the Divine Mother, in whose amsha, or portion of the sky, this full moon in Scorpio falls. Matangi is a tantric form of goddess Saraswati, and the Mahavidya associated with the sun. She promotes our vibrational transformation, and she is the only Mahavidya who consumes and accepts the remains of food as an offering, which stands for the combustion of garbage, the decomposition of compost. She shows us that we need to digest our shadow material and drain all the toxic stuff out of our system. In the days around, especially before this full moon, we may experience this cleansing process on an emotional level, mentally, and also physically, very tangibly on the level of the body, especially those of us who are in the process of expansion of consciousness and do have a prominent Mars or Saturn in our Vedic birth chart, as they are the rulers of Scorpio and Anuradha. With prominent, I mean that Mars or Saturn sit in our 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th house, or that they are our Atmakaraka or the ruler of our ascendant. As you can see, Matangi is sitting on a lotus in a lake full of lotus flowers. In two of her hands she holds a skull, reminding us that in this body we only have a certain amount of time left, and a blade for cutting attachments. With her other two hands she plays the veena, an instrument with strings that are plucked with the fingers to create harmony between micro and macrocosmos, harmony between our different pranas, harmony between our body and the divine soul, harmony with the universal consciousness. Vibrationally, we can support the process we are going through, chanting over and over again Mother Matangi's mantra.
Om Rim Klim Hum Matangye Pat Svaha. Om Rim Klim Hum Matangye Pat Svaha. Om Rim Klim Hum Matangye Pat Svaha.
Many blessings and see you soon.